Be here up there with Geoff.
We'll have a... We're live?
We're live. Hello, welcome to another edition of the Beaver Sports Show. I'm Jenna, Lade.
I'm Josh Worden.
And I'm Geoff Lowe. Here's what's happening in the world of OSU sports.
So let's start off with baseball. So a four-game series in Corvallis started off against Wright State on February 28th. So throughout the series, they won 3 of the 4 games. So the first game is 7-0, 6-4, then a loss of 2-6. But the very last game, we won 13-2 on Sunday, and that was Wetzler's debut game. And he struck out 5, walked 1, and threw 62 strikes and 89 pitches.
That's what I was really impressed with about the Oregon State team is Ben Wetzler came in, he won his debut start, and overall the whole news story in the offseason was about how Ben Wetzler was in this whole controversial suspension, and the team hung with it. They endured his absence. They came in and they never really made a big deal out of it. And I think that's just how Oregon State baseball operates.
It's like it's completely forgotten.
Yeah.
It's like it never even happened. And then, so on Tuesday, also OSU beat Portland 5-0. Freshmen Jake Thompson and Trent Shelton combined on a 2-hitter. Jake threw 7 strikeouts, and the Beavers will continue on their 10-game streak. And that will be at 5:05 p.m. on Friday for a 4-game series against Northern Illinois.
So, as Jenna just said, the Beavers will take on Northern Illinois tomorrow at 5:05 for a 4-game series. And
should we talk about basketball?
Talk about basketball.
Last night, the Oregon State basketball team hosting number 3 Arizona in Gill Coliseum. The Wildcats already had the regular season Pac-12 title in hand at the beginning of the game. Oregon State still had a lot to play for, although on the bottom half of the Pac-12 schedule, the Pac-12 tournament coming up, Oregon State held with Arizona until the final minute, but fell by a final of 74-69. Roberto Nelson had 25 points as a game-tying high, although he did also have 6 of the team's 17 turnovers.
Right, and then also Devon Collier had a double-double of 14 points and 11 rebounds. Hollis Cook had 10 points, 2 assists, and 4 rebounds.
Yeah.
It
was really a game of missed opportunities, I thought. I mean, Oregon State missing 11 free throws and 8 in the second half. Roberto Nelson getting the opportunity with 3 on the line to give the Beavers a 3-point lead, and he clanks 2 of them and hits the third one was just unacceptable, I thought.
And also having
bad.
17 turnovers.
17 turnovers also. I mean,
huge.
It really showed how young the Beavers are and how Arizona's a much more mature team and they know how to win in those situations where the Beavers just don't know how to win yet.
It was a game where, I mean, like you said, it was missed opportunities, but also for Oregon State to be in it down the stretch against one of the best teams in the nation who was ranked number 1 in the country for over half of the season was pretty surprising, I think, and also at least for the post players had probably the best game, even better than the guards. Arizona coach Sean Miller says afterwards he didn't think that their big men got out physicaled, is basically how he put it, in any game other than that season. He said the 3 big men for Oregon State in Angus Brandt, Devon Collier, and Eric Moreland, you stack them up just by their athleticism and their physicality, they could hang with any big 3 men in the country, and that's just Sean Miller's words from Arizona.
Right. And then also, so OSU plays Arizona State at 1:30 p.m. on Saturday. And then that will be the end of the regular season, and then that'll be senior
the Pac-12
night.
tournament, too, coming up.
Well, we are going to take a quick break, but when we return, I will do a one-on-one with Kyle Urban from Dixon Rec Sports to discuss the IM basketball playoffs coming up next Thursday, so stay tuned. Welcome back to the Beaver Sports Show. Josh Worden along with Kyle Urban, who is a graduate assistant with sports and special programs. Did I get the title right?
You got it right.
Nailed it. Kyle oversees the IM basketball program, and the championship games are coming up 1 week from today, which will be on KBVR-TV at 7, 8, and 9 p.m. with the co-rec, women's, and all U championships respectively. If I'm correct,
You got it right.
Got it.
Absolutely.
You see the basketball programs. How is the participation compared to last year? Did you see a lot of people getting into the IM basketball tournament and the whole playing this year?
You know, I think overall we've had an increase in it's very competitive this year. I'd say the men's bracket is as stacked as it's been. You know, we're excited with the co-rec and women's brackets. We've got a lot of parity this year, and I think, you know, anybody could take it home, and so that's really added to the whole feel for us, and we're really excited about getting a chance to put it on KBVR.
Did you get to see a lot of the IM games yourself this season?
Yeah, as a portion of my job, I'm out there and, you know, checking in basically whenever I can. So I spend a lot of time with officials and also just monitoring teams, making sure everything's going okay, doing what I can to make sure the student experience is as good as it could be.
Did you see more of the A-League teams, and that's who obviously the championship games are for, or did you also get a taste of the B-League play also this year?
I try to get a taste of both. You know, the A-League, it gets a lot of hype, and especially this year with the televised games. But I think, you know, the B-Leagues are what kind of make our program what it is, and if I didn't get out there, I wouldn't be doing justice to those participants.
Now, I'm just going to put this out there. I did play on a B-League IM team, and we did finish with a winning record. So I just want to give myself a pat on the back. So I know I've been watching more B-League play. How much more intense is the A-League teams, especially for the championship games? I mean, this is a big deal. How intense do they get in these championship games?
This is, you know, it gets really fiery. I think people really enjoy their time in intramural basketball, and to be honest with you, it's a little bit more intense than the regular season right now. I've been out there every night this week, and you can tell that people are really in it to win it, and that's great. All at the same time, people are promoting great sportsmanship and taking care of what they need to on their end to make sure they fit within the rules of our program.
So the semis are on Wednesday night next week. The championships are on Thursday. Kind of run through for us how the bracket works. Is it like March Madness? Is it 64 teams? Is it single elimination? Just give us a quick rundown on that.
So the brackets are all single elimination, pending on, you know, what it was. The women's bracket, I believe, had 10 teams. Co-rec was at 22. Men's, you had a total of 34 teams, and on the Greek bracket on the men's side, you also had 10 teams. And so what we do for the women's and co-rec bracket is they just play through the bracket, and then the final games are going to be held on Thursday. The men's and the Greek bracket are a little bit differently. We allow the men's teams to play to their championship, and then we allow the Greek teams to play through to their championship, and we take the winners from both sides and turn it into this all-U championship, which is the one that everybody gets really hyped for.
When you watch these games, I want to know if you've seen any teams that kind of have stood out to you, or do you have any predictions of a possible winner of the championship games of any of these different leagues?
You know, to be honest, in the women's league, there's a team, Roadkill'em, I think, very strong.
Okay.
They've got a lot of really strong athletes, a lot of good players, and they play together. So I think that's really good to see and really nice, and I think it bodes well for their future. The men's and the Greek side, I've been really impressed with the men's team, Daniels. Trevor Daniels is their captain, their team manager, also plays a little bit of point guard for them. Been real solid, actually worked for Rec Sports for a while too, so we're glad to see Trevor out there being successful. And SIGAP is always tough to beat on the Greek side, and we'd like to, you know, see what they can do here in the next couple weeks. The co-rec bracket is wide open, to be honest with you. I think there's a lot of teams that could get into the mix, and not one just jumps to my mind.
On the SAE team, is that what SIGAP refers to? I'm not.
No, SAE and SIGAP are two different.
I'm not. Okay.
Yeah, actually, I would say there's a good chance they're on different sides of the bracket for a
Okay.
reason. They were both
Okay.
both undefeated in the regular season. I'd say SAE and SIGAP, those are going to be two big ones there.
Okay. On the SAE team, there's one guy named Joey Spiegelberg who went to my high school. He won 2 state championships at Corvallis High School, so he's got a little bit of background in championship winning. So I wouldn't be surprised if his team got to that championship game, and that would be. I think he said they were undefeated last time I saw him, so I wouldn't be surprised if he gets there.
Yeah. If he's on the SAE team, they did go undefeated in the regular season and are winning through the playoffs. So.
You mentioned the referees earlier, and when I was playing the B League team, I was impressed at how much they improved over the season. Do you think the referees are prepared for the high intensity, high tempo, lots of people watching them in the championship game?
Yeah, I think, what people have to realize is that when these guys are out there doing it, these are officials that may have had 8 or 9 hours of practical training, right? Yeah. And then they step out onto a court with players that have been playing the game their whole life and start officiating these games. So when we come in week one, obviously we're a little rusty, and we work through that. And I'm really proud of our whole crew as a progression. And I think you'll see in the championship games, we've got 9 officials total that have been scheduled for those games. We're running 3-man crews, which will be new and cut their job responsibilities a little bit, make it easier on them. But I think it's really important to see the progression that they've made, and I think they'll do a really good job, and so I think people appreciate that.
I'm going to put you on the spot here. If you took an all-star team of all of the different leagues, A League, B League, Greek teams, whatever, you put them in the March Madness tournament, Division I basketball, put them in as a 16 seed, could they play with any of the Division I teams? Maybe they'd probably get blown out. But could they score a couple buckets, maybe finish with 10 points in the game? I don't know how well they get.
I think they could definitely get 10. I mean, okay. you have people out there right now in those leagues that are dropping threes from distance and doing all that. So I imagine they can get 10 points from just pull-up threes. But at the same time, these are people that are playing in the gym, playing pickup, maybe not even playing basketball until it becomes IM basketball season, and then playing once a week. So they're not on that level. But I'd say that the better teams could put up a good fight against some community college teams.
I think, and I could be wrong, but I think like Richard Mullaney was on a team last year. Are there any other OSU athletes from different sports who played on a team this year?
Yeah. A number of the football players are out there, and actually there is a team right now. I can't name the guys off the top of my head, but they're out there still competing and still playing, so they've moved on a little bit. I think Singler is the last name of the guy who's Mitch Singler. I think he's still on one of the teams that's moving on.
I didn't know that. Speaking of OSU athletes, Roberto Nelson and Daniel Gomez, along kind of with Craig Robinson, were the coaches of a B-League team. In fact, my team played that team. Did you get to see their games?
Yeah, I did. It's really impressive. They're out there running a 1-3-1 zone, whereas people are just trying to figure out who they're guarding in B-League, and I think Roberto did a lot maximizing the potential of the team that he threw out there.
Okay. Well, we won't see them in the championship game because they're a B-League team. However, it was fun to see them this year. That is all the time we have tonight. I want to thank our guest, Kyle Urban, for staying with us on the Beaver Sports Show. Be sure to check in next Thursday for the IIM game. It's going to get crazy. I might wear a blazer. I might wear a plaid tie. You won't know what happens, but it's going to be great. Beaver Sports Show next week, 7 p.m., IIM Basketball Championships.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.